Hello and welcome. My name is Kaylee Jo and I make content all about my experiences as a theater educator, but today I'm going to be doing something a little different.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Today I'm going to be sharing all of the reasons why I believe the 2001 film The Princess Diaries should be made into a full-length musical.
Shut up!
So this idea has actually been swirling around in my head for a while now. As you know, I am a theater teacher and I was talking with some of my 8th grade students and I posed the question, what book, movie, or TV show do you think should be made into a musical? And I had one student who suggested The Princess Diaries, and I have not been able to get it out of my head since then. There are a handful of people on TikTok and YouTube who have actually created original songs for the proposed production. There is also a 45-minute video on YouTube called The Princess Diaries Musical, but it's not original music, it's actually using songs from other Broadway shows integrated into the Princess Diaries storyline. Therefore, I am not claiming that I am the first person to have this idea by any means, but I am 100% here to advocate for it and encourage you to check out those other perspectives floating around the musical theater interwebs. This leads me to the key reasons why this film should be made into a musical. Name recognition with a strong fan base.
Would you consider you and the princess best friends?
I would definitely say that.
Family-friendly subject matter. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy pushing the envelope and asking the hard questions using musical theater just as much as the next person.
Maybe it's a protest. Maybe.
But I also enjoy content that can be viewed by all ages and still have an impactful storyline, and I believe that The Princess Diaries does that. Multiple strong female characters. Remember, this is coming from the lens of somebody who is a theater teacher, so I absolutely gravitate towards shows that can showcase a lot of female performers because that is the bulk of my program. Most importantly, the audience is able to connect with these characters, but there is still an element of magic and fairy tale with the princess storyline. Now, did I potentially create an entire scene-by-scene breakdown of how I would want this show to play out if it were a musical? Yes, I did. Picture it. The opening scene is in Mia's house. She is rushing around, getting ready for school, and she has a song titled something like I'm Not Ready, where she's agonizing over this speech she has to give in debate class today. Her mother chimes in, trying to encourage and support her, and also lets her know that her grandmother called and is going to stop by after school to have tea with them. And then later in the show, we can do a reprise of this I'm Not Ready song, but this time it's actually in reference to her not being ready to take on the Genovian throne.
Got it! Give me 5. 5? 5. Oh.
Before I dive in too deep, I do want to share that I feel like the movie makes it relatively easy to apply this to the stage. So I'm not going to share my entire breakdown.
I think you're making a wise decision.
But I am going to give somewhat of a highlight reel and my thoughts throughout this process. For example, I did some rearranging to reduce and combine the number of locations in the show, and I also took out anything that I think might be really difficult to portray on stage, such as the numerous car scenes.
I really don't want to cause a riot with this hearse.
This is a non-riot hearse. And if it were a hearse, there would be silence in the back seat.
The bummer is, whenever you remove those car scenes, you also remove a lot of really heartfelt scenes and moments between Mia and Joe in the limo, and then also we have Mia's entire storyline with her Ford Mustang. And I could definitely be persuaded to put them back in because I know that many shows have utilized car scenes on stage without any problems, but my fear was that it can be really tricky to do that on stage, and then likewise, I just don't know that it will read as well on stage as it does in the film, mainly because all of these car scenes happen in San Francisco, which is an incredibly hilly area, so a lot of the comedy and conflict comes from the fact that they're going up and down these really steep hills.
I've never put on pantyhose, but it sounds dangerous.
So I just didn't know that that would play as well on stage, which is why I chose to remove the car scenes, but I think there is a way it could be done that I would be happy with it, so I'm not like violently opposed to them by any means. Also, I would definitely not be opposed to completely removing the Mia and Michael romance.
It's like a date?
No.
Because this story is so much bigger than Mia having a crush on a boy. This is a story about her discovering who she really is, finding her true identity, finding her voice, and standing up for what she believes in. And I would much rather spend time on the relationship between Mia and her grandmother, or Mia and her best friend Lily, than I would spend time on the relationship with Michael, because honestly, even in the film, it felt like a little bit of an afterthought. So I think it would read that same way on stage. I think it could be worked in in, but it's gonna need a lot more developing than what there was in the film, and honestly, I'm fine with just eliminating it altogether. Okay, here's a thought. So if the story has to have an element of romance, which I'm not opposed to, I'm a romantic at heart for sure, then can we please give the romance to Clarice and Joe?
You've been wearing black too long.
Because that is the love story that I want to know more about. In general, I want Joe to have a considerable role in this theoretical stage adaptation because I think he is such a wonderful character. He is a grounding force for Clarice as she makes all these decisions as queen. And he also kind of acts like a father figure to Mia as she's having to traverse this new world as a princess. I would absolutely love a song from Joe as he's consoling Mia after Lily says a lot of mean things to her about her new look because she gets a makeover and then Lily, is just like incredibly insulting and rude to her. And I believe Joe says something along the lines of,
You should know that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent.
but she's quoting Eleanor Roosevelt there, but like turning that into a song would be absolutely wonderful. I am all about Team Joe in all the ways. We also absolutely have to keep the waltz between Joe and Clarice during the dancing lessons in the show, and then we could even have like a romantic duet between them. Some numbers I think absolutely have to be in the stage adaptation include a fabulous number for Paolo as he is performing the makeover on Mia with his assistants Gretchen and Helga.
Where is the beautiful girl?
And my granddaughter, Amelia.
Go check out Music with Carl on TikTok. He actually has an original song for this scene that is absolutely pure genius. I also want to make sure that there's a quick change in here somewhere. Maybe Gretchen and Helga hold up a barber's cape and then behind it we pull a little theater magic to take Mia from normal Mia to Princess Mia. Okay, so I just want to like put my feelers out there. How do we feel about a Meet the Plastics, Mean Girls type of song for Lana and the Lynnettes?
I'm Lana. Anna. Fontana.
What are your thoughts? Because there isn't really like a clear villain necessarily in this story, like a clear antagonist, but I feel like it could definitely be Lana and her minions, especially whenever they sabotage Mia at the beach party. Speaking of the beach party, I feel like this is where we can have our big, flashy, large cast dance number. In the movie, Lana and the Lynnettes sing Stupid Cupid at the beach bash.
Stupid Cupid, you're a real mean guy.
But I think this could be a really great moment to have a song for Mia, kind of expressing how she feels like she's on top of the world, she's getting everything she ever wanted, she's hanging out with these popular people, she's getting all of this attention from her crush Josh, and she thinks she is going to get her very first foot poppin' kiss. Then bam, the song ends, the paparazzi rushes on stage to take pictures of Mia. I imagine that Lana and the Lynnettes kind of tipped them off as a part of their evil villainy scheme, and then Josh grabs her and kisses her. Not in the foot poppin' way that she wanted, and she pushes him away, and then she rushes off stage, embarrassed and bewildered and completely overwhelmed. End of Act 1. Then we have Act 2. Mia is feeling like the world is against her.
You've been hurt, so you just cry, okay? It was really bad.
Her grandmother Clarice is incredibly disappointed in her because of all of these photos that were taken of her kissing a boy. And then we have Lily, who is upset that Mia went to the beach bash instead of being on her cable show like she promised she would be. And that conversation in the movie, the reconciliation between those two, is so heartwarming. And I think that would make an awesome duet. It gives me very For Good vibes from Wicked.
But what will I wear? Yay!
Of course, then we have Mia deciding that she cannot handle being the princess, and in fact, she is going to opt out of attending the ball altogether. So this is whenever we get to work in that reprise that I mentioned before. We had the opening song, which was tentatively titled I'm Not Ready, and she was singing that in the opening because she wasn't ready for her debate speech, but now here she is saying that she is not ready to be the Princess of Genovia.
But I don't think I meant to do this.
So we get this beautiful reprise. She's singing it as she is packing her bags and getting ready to run away. the tensions are high, and then a letter falls from the diary that her grandmother gave her. This diary was a gift from her late father. She reads the letter and it gives her all of the confidence that she needs to move forward. And so she rushes off to the ball in the rain. In the movie, this is where the convertible top on Mia's Mustang will not go up, so she is driving in the rain up and down these San Francisco hills, and her car breaks down.
I am invisible, and I am wet.
Again, in my theoretical adaptation, I don't imagine there would be car scenes, so maybe this is just her walking in the rain, maybe on the way to the bus stop, maybe she misses the bus and that's the reason for that, feeling of being very defeated. And I would love so much to incorporate that Catch a Falling Star song into the stage adaptation somehow.
Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away.
I don't quite know how that would work, but I think it would be really cool if it could be worked in there somehow. But anyway, then Joe shows up and saves the day, and they are off to the ball. She arrives just in the nick of time, arriving dripping wet and very underdressed.
Very special.
But she takes the podium and proclaims that she would like to assume the role of Princess of Genovia. The crowd cheers, and Mia is whisked off, only to quickly reappear in her beautiful ball gown. Yay for more quick changes. And then everyone dances the night away, and of course, in true happily ever after fashion, we would have a song about having the courage to believe in yourself. Anyway, without going into even more detail, that is a glimpse at how I personally would like to see this theoretical Princess Diaries musical play out. I absolutely want to hear your comments and your thoughts and feelings, so please put those all down below. And then Disney, if you're watching, feel free to hire me and all of the people in the comments to make this musical a reality. Thank you so much for indulging in my musical theater obsession. Thank you for watching, and as always, break a leg.